Esselamu Aleyküm ve Rahmetullah. Euzu billahi mineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbena atina fid dünya haseneten ve fil ahireti hasene ve qina azabennar. Rabbena gfirli ve li valideyye ve lil mu'minine yevme yekumul hisab. Rahmetike ya erhamer rahimin. Allahümme allimna ma yenfa'una ve enfa'na bima allamtana ve zidna ilma ve erinel hakka hakkan ve erzukna ittiba'ah ve erinel batile batilen ve erzukna ictinabeh. La havle ve la kuvvete illa billahil aliyyil azim ve sallallahu ala Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve ashabihi ve etba'ihi ve sellem. Velhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Amin. We have been studying, Ramadan Mubarak, first of all, to everyone. We have been studying the section Sad of the Quran, and we studied up to the verse 53 of the same section Sad. So, inshallah, we are going back to, Now, this verse, this is what you are promised for the day of accounting, the settling of the account or day of reckoning. It is translated in different ways. But we have to understand that all the descriptions, especially the descriptions of paradise mentioned earlier on, and description of hell is also going to be mentioned. These are what we promise for the day of account. It means we have to understand somehow apparently a subtle point. From one aspect, Qur'an talks about the hereafter. In other aspects, Qur'an talks about it from now on, not only what will happen in the hereafter. So since the Qur'an is speaking to me right now, it means I have to have some sort of evidence for it in order to confirm this news. So we emphasize the importance of studying the Quran, not only for information, obtaining information purpose. It may be so, but also really trying to see or giving us some sort of clue that we can confirm that it is from the creator of the universe. It means from my creator. So from one aspect, I will refer it to the creation, so that is it what I am reading is the speech of this creation and coming back to me, is the speech of also my creation. So what I have to see, this promise that the Yawm al-Hisab promised for the day of account in the creation, is there any sign for it? And in my existence, shall I really confirm it, or should I, or am I able to confirm it, so that I should confirm this news? So I have to see the reflections of it or evidence of it. That is why it is important to read these kind of descriptions of paradise and hell for two purposes: confirming this truth by seeing the evidence out there in the universe, and also within myself. do I really agree with this? Can I have any evidence in me to demonstrate that this news is really true? So we have to apply it to ourselves. For example, can the one who promises all this, what he has created out there, mentioned before, beautiful things, or likable things, enjoyable things created out there, and saying that, look, I am going to give you in permanent base. It is interesting to see that when he is not giving it to me in permanent base here, which is ending the existence of the things and my life, and the relationship between me and what is created out there is going to end soon. I mean, later on, earlier or later, it will definitely help. So can the one who creates this temporary universe make it permanent? That is the major problem that the people are struggling with. Is it really possible for the creator of this universe to create to create an eternal, permanent form of this universe? Now, it is not impossible to confirm it, but at the same time, we have to be careful. How are we going to confirm it? By saying that, look at this universe. There are two ways of saying it, two ways of confirming it. One is, look at this universe, how wonderful it is. So the one who created this universe must be able to create the next word. But next word is, as the Qur'an describes, is permanent, eternal. But when we look at the universe, it is not eternal. It is not infinite. There is a beginning, there is an end. So what shall I do now? Can I really believe in it? This is the problem most of the believers are struggling about. In Islamic history, it happened. Muslim philosophers also argued about it, that we cannot prove really that the creator can create this. The creator who created and demonstrated in front of me a limited and not permanent, but transient, temporary word. How can I, if you like, multiply it by infinite? Is it possible? That is an interesting point. Most of the people miss this point. Even the believers, even great scholars miss point. Don't say that, are you claiming that you know better than the great scholars, Muslim philosophers, or the classical scholars? They accepted it because Quran said so, but the philosophers represent the idea. Well, the Quran says this, but how can I confirm it? They are questioning people. So they could not understand, the philosophers could not understand. Classical scholarship in general understood it, not because they had demonstration of it, a demonstration of this, but they confirmed, because of their belief in the Quran, confirmed what the Quran says must be correct. Now, that is not good for the philosophers. Therefore, it is not good for the people of this age. because people of this age, especially those people who are born in a Muslim community and continues their tradition, their way of life, their culture, there is no problem for them. But nowadays, it is becoming more and more common not to take any religion or belief for granted and question it. That is the problem of future, starting from almost the 20th century, but 20th century wasn't really very active that time. Some intellectuals questions about it. It didn't spread into general public. We have to be aware of this reality. We cannot really turn blind to the reality, what is going on in the world, by saying that, oh, those people in the mosque, when they give a khutbah and they said, Allah will give us eternal bliss, eternal pleasure in the hereafter, they will say, oh, inshallah, inshallah, inshallah. This age is fading away, not far from one generation. It won't work for the next generation. Why? Because of this globalization, because of this universal culture, the worldwide culture, not national culture anymore. We wouldn't be able to talk much about Pakistani culture, Egyptian culture, Turkish culture, Arab culture, or I think Algerian culture. I see somebody here also from that background. So I don't know, even it may be a little bit late in Malaysian culture, this kind of culture, the European culture, this is going to fade away earlier or later. We see the signs of this starting from some parts of the world which are more open to Western culture, most easily welcoming them, easily, like North African Muslim countries, Egypt, starting from Egypt, Turkey, Iran, starting from there, this questioning and not accepting, taking for granted religion is coming into the inlands and going slowly from Turkey, Iran, and in the eastern side, subcontinent. We have to realize that Pakistan, so they are forcing in Afghanistan not to come, but people are suffering from it, unfortunately, so they will rebel. It is inevitable. Next generation will hate Islam because of these oppressions. But Pakistan, which somehow free, or Malaysia is the same, free. Indonesia is a big country. Anyway, Afghanistan is somehow closed nowadays, but not definitely, because internet is everywhere. Internet doesn't recognize boundaries in the country or national cultures at all. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Ali. I was wondering if you think that what you're talking about, like monoculture and also imitation of religion and then just rejection of religion because it doesn't make sense. If you think this is if you think that this is the manifestation of like the prediction or the, I don't know what to call it, prophecy of the Dajjal, because I've never really understood if that is something to be taken literal. It seems very symbolic to me. And it seems, I mean, I hate to be rude, and so I don't want to laugh at it being literal, but it just seems very, very symbolic to me.
Yeah.
One
Well,
eye, and so that's why
yeah.
but I don't know. I've never discussed this before with anybody else.
Under,
And then
understood.
also, I wasn't clear about what you said was the second way to confirm. From what I understood, you said that we look at this world and we say we see that there's knowledge and there's order, and we conclude there must be a creator. And if he can create this, then sure, he could create something else too. But then you said, but at the same time, we also observe that this is perishing. And so, and then I wasn't sure I didn't understand from that point
Yeah.
what you
Good.
said the second way was to confirm.
Thank you.
I need to understand the second point.
Thank you. I understood. I think we have to be as short as possible. So, first of all, if anybody wants to ask anything one by one, don't combine all the questions all together. It's confusing because these are serious problems. First, you mentioned about Dajjal and the sign of Dajjal. Every nation, every generation, starting from the companions of the Prophet, they were talking about appearance of Qiyamah soon, Dajjal, and also Mahdi, because of the news from the Prophet. But we have to, as you said, we have to understand that, for example, when the prayers are accepted during Ramadan, is it fixed? No. Qadr, the night of Qadr is fixed? No. So during in the day of Friday, there is a time when the prayers are accepted. Is it fixed? No. Why? We have to understand. There are descriptions of Dajjal and Mahdi, but these are symbolic. All the prophetic teachings are symbolic. Most of them are symbolic rather than this. Fiqh rules are not symbolic. They are straight language. But all the description of this kind of events are symbolic. For example, the Prophet describes Kawthar, as the Quran mentions, you know, that never-ending river in the hereafter. Now, the Kawthar is so large and gives a distance in Yemen and Mecca. So, no, Medina, sorry. So for the people of that time, that is the unimaginable vastness of the place. So what happens? People think that, oh, it is so huge. Now, we can imagine here intergalaxy wide of place. What does it mean? And he says, look at this. There are cups there, as numerous as the stars in the sky. What does it mean? What am I going to do with the cups? Now, we all know that Kawthar is what is given the revelation to the Prophet, and it represents never-ending meaning in this message. And everybody can take a cup and get the water, what he wants, and satisfy his thirst. What does it mean? Everyone who are sincerely asking the questions, they can get the answer from this message. It is so symbolic, allegorical way of teaching, so that it can be interpreted and understood at every age. So this kind of news also are the same. Everybody must have the hope of Mahdi in his time for himself, herself, and fear of Dajjal for himself, for herself. So everybody, And everybody must have the hope of the night of Qadr, Laylatul Qadr, night of power, they say in English, night of power, expecting Allah's mercy, but at the same time, not being able to catch it. Be careful. Khawf and Raja, it means fear and hope together, because we cannot guarantee anything about what God is going to decide for me, because he's absolute, he has absolute wisdom. I don't. So how can I decide or know what he is going to decide about me? I will have a hope that he will treat me with his mercy. I will have also fear that he will treat me with his justice, not necessarily with his harshness. No, justice. It is enough to suffer, because how he is how much he is generous to me, what I am doing is nothing. So we have to understand that these are for human reality. From one side, spirit gives the good news. From another side, evil desires pulls us away from it. Then I am struggling in between, sometimes falling there, sometimes falling here, and I may not be conscious of what I am doing because of negligence, not because of disability, because of negligence. So these are not to be taken literally at all. It is impossible. But the beauty of the teachings of the Quran and beauty of the teachings of Hadith narrations or the prophetic teaching are to make it, or the beauty is to make the description in such a way that everybody at every time will be able to interpret and adapt it for himself. And I must now see what is Dajjal in my age, what is Mahdi in my age. So this is one subject. Another subject you mentioned now.
You started off with saying that there's two ways to confirm the next life.
I got it.
We didn't get to the second one yet. Yeah.
I got it. Thank you very much. I got it. Now, two ways is looking at myself, using my human qualities, whether it can be a promise by the one who created me. This is actually practically we start from outside and come back to us. But as far as giving me the guidance is concerned, the introspective analysis, they say, introspective within myself, it comes first. And then I can really comfortably confirm it. That's why belief takes place in heart. What does it mean? Settles down in your the experience of it and confirmation of it within by using your human abilities. Because when I look at the universe, I see that it is huge, it is wonderful, but it is limited and transient. Now I understand that there is a room for doubt that the one who created the universe can create it at the most perfect way, never-ending way, limitless. But I don't have any evidence for it. But when I study the creation carefully, what I see, the manifestations of the Creator in each being. Now we come back, not looking at the totality of the universe, entirety of the universe, but coming back to looking at a simple thing. For example, looking at a honeybee, beautiful creatures, or a bird, or a fruit, and see, in order to create a bird out of an egg, in order to create a man, the body of the man, not spirit, body of the man, out of a cell, what is needed? Look at the way it is coming into existence. As every part of human cell or every part of the cell of a bird, the same, is directly connected to the whole universe. And in order to do this continuously in continuously changing condition, one has to be infinite. Otherwise, you can do it at once and takes place another time. You can do one connection, another connection needs another action. But we see that infinite connections, uncountable connections, are taking place at the same time. But the problem is not everybody can comprehend this appearance of the qualities demonstrating themselves to me in the minor world, or let's put it another, not in the minor world, micro world. Not everybody can do it. But if you can do it, by looking at the universe, you understand that although the universe is limited, but the way it is coming into existence must be executed, realized by an infinite one. Not cannot be, as always we say, cannot be compared, cannot be defined with the conditions of this world. So if something not really of the nature of this temporary limited world, it must be by definition itself, logical conclusion is it must be infinite. But not everybody, majority of the people cannot make this logical conclusion. You can, but not majority of the people. You are educated, intellectual, and also continuously reasoning, using your brain. Most of the people follow monotonous life. Just they follow the culture. That's it. As Jesus describes, you know better than we do. So as Jesus describes, they are he is the shepherd of the lost lamb of Bnei Israel, the children of Israel. What does it mean? Most of the people follow him not because what he's teaching, but because of his miracles. So he is the shepherd, people are the sheep. It doesn't mean that he is insulting by giving the example of sheep. He is saying that lamb, not sheep. It doesn't matter, but lamb is more innocent. By giving this, these people are innocent. They are misled. I am just taking them by demonstrating lots of miracles with Allah's will, of course, with Allah's will, so that they will trust me and follow me. They will be saved. They are innocent. They cannot do further than what they are doing, more than what they are doing. That is why majority of the people cannot really study the micro world and make a logical conclusion. Belief is the logical conclusion for intellectual people, but non-intellectual people, belief is not the logical conclusion, but general conviction that that is what the universe is really saying to me, that there must be a creator. That's it. This is not a logical conclusion. It's a very simple logic, but not going into the deep, that they will understand that this creator of this universe can be able to do what he is promising in the Qur'an. So they will say, okay, I believe in it because I believe in the Qur'an. That is what the classical scholarship and generally majority of the people population have been doing for centuries and centuries, not only in the Muslim world, but in Christendom, in Jewish or Hindu, Buddhism. They are just following the tradition, really. They have no logic at all. In Christianity also, logic is prohibited in Christianity. If you use logic, you cannot be a Christian. That's what they know. That's why they propagate, because they know that if they use logic, what the theology, Christian theology says doesn't make sense logically. But what the Quran says, you have to come to a logical conclusion in order to have a certified belief. That is the contradiction between now, not the Jesus taught, now Christianity, Christian theology, and Quranic teaching. So what we have to come back here now, we have to understand that the second way of confirming this eternity, absoluteness of the Creator must be also examined within myself. So again, it needs an intellectual activity. Why? You have to question. What are you going to question? Which kind of creature I am? This is the question. What am I? Well, so for the people, they say, I'm a man, I am a person. Ordinary people say, I am a person. And I understand that, I must be made. That's so obvious, man. I cannot be accidentally happened. Even they don't give a chance to this. What they say, I am especially arranged, who can make it? Of course, not the matter can make it. That's obvious, but it's a reasoning, but very shallow reasoning. So it happened to be that I have some senses. That's what Allah created. I trust Allah. I got in other religious traditions. I trust in God, and he can do it, and he did it. That's it. They don't really evaluate which kind of feelings I have. But intellectual people definitely question. That's what we have to prepare. And this questioning tradition and culture, the universe is going to be a one word, not the universe. I'm sorry. The word is going to be going to turn into one nation, one culture, one tradition. That is what Islam is expecting. One culture means what Islam can offer them. Nothing else can offer this. Now the cultural influence is preventing Islam to really present itself in its reality. You go somewhere and speak about, none of the people around me, our scholars don't say this. What are you doing? You are just making religion into philosophy. Most of the people I know, they call these discussions are philosophy. Rationalistic activity, that's what they call. I know that. Sometimes openly say, sometimes hinting, sometimes just ignoring. I know that because we are questioning, how can I confirm? This is philosophy, but we have to prepare ourselves for the ages now emerge and really widely spreading. Because, for example, I was born in Turkey. In my time, in my youth, there were only 5 or 6 universities. Maybe let's say 5. Let's be generous. 6 universities. Now 600 universities. What does it mean? No one wants to work labor work anymore. Technology doing the work, labor. We have to use our reasoning how to make everything in such a way that using this chips technology, cyber technology, whatever you call it, computer technology, employing the matter to take the labor. Human beings are going to give them programs how to do it. That is very human. No one can deny the importance of it. Now, that's why everybody wants to be an engineer, everybody wants to be an architect, everybody wants to study social sciences, psychology, philosophy, sociology, this kind of anthropology, history. These are intellectual activities. I'm not saying that engineering is an intellectual activity, but it is mostly based on information repetition. Maybe enlarging it, but on the same base. I'm not accusing engineers, but the profession is mostly changing towards, how do you say, any kind of discipline which needs reasoning more rather than learning. That's why the world is struggling to establish an education system, not learning. I hope there is a teacher here, especially America is leading this, not learning, but reasoning. Reasoning. Why? Because they know that the next generation needs reasoning people, not learning, because information is so cheap. Information is everywhere, overflowing, more than what we need. Now, how am I going to organize this information and make it useful for me? This, how do you say, scattered information, jumbled information is not useful. So what we need now, brains used to thinking, and how can I organize it in a very short way? That is the purpose of the age now. How can I use a technology or in the mathematical formulations so that I don't have to make all these things and number one, number two, number three, put them and organize it. No, I have to make a program, and apply this program to a mass of confused information, and the program itself is going to organize it and make it useful for me, categorize it perfectly. That's the I know at least one engineer among us here, or the program, not engineer, program expert on programs in one way, but you cannot be expert on every program nowadays. Mashallah, it is increasing, so it is good. It is a good sign. So what is going on now in the world? Labor is transformed, or it's going to be transformed on the matter itself. The machines will do it. Robots will do it. But intellectual activities will be left to human beings. Now, these are the signs that we have to prepare ourselves for people who reason, therefore who question. I'm going to repeat this until I die. We have to prepare ourselves for people who are reasoning, therefore questioning. No taking for granted. It is only valid for general public, and also the body of the general public is shrinking. As I told you, 50 years ago in Turkey, that's what I know there, where I experienced that, there were 5, 6 universities, maybe altogether 200,000 students. Now, they say in each quarter, there's a university, 300, maybe more universities. What does it mean? General public is more into intellectual learning, therefore reasoning. The rest is just getting ready to be a laborer. This is the future of the world. We have to accept it and get ready to a unified, monolithic culture of the world, which is mostly based on reasoning. But of course, nowadays it started with exploitation of emotions. We have to understand what's going on in the world. So we have to prepare the reasoning people, educated people, to get ready for this. Muslim world is so behind the reality of this world. Of course, no one can say that, claim that the others are better than us. But Christianity cannot break out. It is shell. It is so strong, but the people are living Christianity. If we really do follow the same way, that is what I am saying, that is what Bible says, that's what Qur'an says, we have to accept it, this attitude, then we are believing in the Qur'an. The Christian people say that we are believing in the Bible. So what is the difference? There is no difference. What is happening in the Christendom? There is no really convinced followers of Christianity in majority at all. It is shrinking, the number is getting, the proportion is getting smaller and smaller, and it is, of course, not as early as Christianity started losing blood. Islam is also following behind it, starting from western side of the Muslim world, slowly creeping into the eastern side of the Muslim world. You will see I don't know whether I will see it or not, but you may, if not you, your children will definitely see what is happening in most conservative countries like Afghanistan. You will see what will happen. You will see the emergence of, may Allah protect us from this disaster, atheism, rebellion against religion. Why? Because of this blind following. So they wouldn't be able to, because although they are living physically in a certain geography of the world, but culturally, everybody will be exposed to universal culture, monolithic culture. I am saying universal, it means worldwide. So as you said, monoculture, it is coming in. You see that, for example, I saw first time the TV in my life. It was when I was 16, let alone the phone or anything. We had no phone, nothing. Only very rich people had this wired telephone system. Now, I see the children on the way, 2 years old, almost very rare I see children sitting on the baby pushchair with a laptop or telephone watching the same film watched everywhere in the world. You say that there is no escape from it. We have to be realistic. There is no need to go into Dajjal is coming, Mehdi must become. No. It is obvious what is going on. I have to take precautions, necessary precautions. That's why I have to say, look, the Quran says, now we are studying. This is what you are promised for the day of accounting. How can I know? Of course. The people say, yeah, you claim it for yourself. How can I confirm it? Let alone saying that, oh, this promise is from the creator of the universe. I am sure of it. No, it is too late. Yes, you can follow your tradition, but at the same time, you have to prepare for the future that the world is really showing us. For example, if it is night, dark, what you see, oh, it is night, it is night. Stop, that's not. Let's say we haven't experienced daytime. It's an example, all right? And that is what the word is, okay. But when you start seeing that the twilight is appearing somewhere, you get shocked. Oh, what is that? What is that? It's increasing. The light is increasing. Starting from the east. Oh, it's easy. You are shocked. You know that the things are changing. We are now definitely, obviously, there is no need to turn blind to our reality, experiencing twilight of the monolithic reasoning and not blindly accepting anything, culture invading the world, but not reasoning in a way that mathematicians do. I don't mean that. They will definitely say that, oh, look at my mother and father. They are old school people. They do what they have been doing. But my word is, because he has grown up with the same, how do you say, how are they called? The child's videos, not cartoons. Oh, come on. Somebody help me, please. Mammograph, somebody, hey, I know somebody's expert on it. Say, all these child movies, not movies, videos, how are they called? Anyone? Animations, okay. Now, from California to, I don't know, Indonesian village, the children are watching the same animations. Can you be blind to it? You know what's coming. And all these things are, of course, doesn't seem to be a rationalism or reasoning, but at the same time, having the same culture based on nothing to do with revelation at all, nothing to do with religion at all. What the people do now, certain traditions, they are trying to preserve their children from the influence of this worldwide culture, monolithic culture. So they are trying to make a program, or it's an animation, presenting that, oh, it is Ramadan Mubarak. This animations, very simple animations, very simple, is they're trying to protect the really, how do you say? Yeah, traditional way of practicing Islam. Now, listen, is it Islam? I don't think so. For example, when I check today with my students and ask them, when I say Ramadan, what comes to you? So, fasting. So Ramadan is fasting. No, Ramadan is the month of Qur'an. You are fasting. Are you studying the Qur'an? Some people, innocent people, just recite it. Is it bad? Not at all. At least somehow. But new generation cannot sit like their mother or grandmother, father, sit and read hours and hours of the Quran. No, they can put it, for example, on their iPhone or their telephone, smartphones, and put it in the car and listen to it while they are driving and having some sort of fun with their friends. Unbearable. We cannot turn blind to it. So we have to prepare ourselves. That's why we have to come to ourselves and make the analysis now in order to really, thank you, Tulay. You are here, inshallah. So you wrote animation to help me. I didn't notice that time. Yeah, thank you. Now, we have to come to ourselves and see, look, I'm not only body, do I? That is why another thing is very missing in the minds of the people. They love this, but this is very dangerous. They are not aware of it. Generally speaking, must be, I'm not the only man who's aware of it. There must be some more. Definitely there are. All these animations are based on human senses. So humanism is soon to replace religion. Why? From the very, very beginning of our brain, which really brain develops, physically develops until the age of 6, finish. What does it mean? Whatever you learn until the age of 6, that's it. Foundation is there. You have free will. Still, you can deny it, but most of the people continue their way as they found themselves, because thinking is difficult. So they take it easy way. But it is going to get smaller, smaller, and smaller. Yep. The number of people who are following it. That is why I call it, I'm not really particularly pessimist. I am optimist because I'm waiting for this monolithic culture, and Islam is presented to this monolithic culture without the boundaries of local cultures. That is what it is, a really obstacle in the way that Islam enters into somebody's heart or mind. Culture. We cannot leave the culture behind. We cannot even question whether it's legitimate or not. We love to follow our way as we are accustomed to it. So anyway, I'm jumping from one point to another point again and again, because this is what we have to face. And if we don't know my reality, if I don't know the danger, I don't take the precautions, protect myself to it. But for myself, I feel comfortable to follow the culture. Why? I don't have to think about it. I just follow what my parents do. That's it. That's it. That's why when I have any kind of organization, any kind of meeting with a small number of people, when I ask a question, and no one really, not no one, here, where is it? Oh, somebody left. The one who spoke left. Sometimes he speaks. Very rarely, after I force, one person says one word. Everybody is indifferent, listening. No, we have to wake up. Anyway, now, when we come back to ourselves, we see that we are not only bodies, we have senses. Now, these senses reminds me the source of humanism, if it is not utilized or educated by people who are aware of the reality and say that, no, your senses are not to be used in this world only. These are to be used in this world in order to practice which kind of capacity they have. For example, you want to save and get rid of the poverty in the world. For how long and how much? There are other peoples who are following their egoistic caprices. What they do, their ambitions have no limit, as your hopes have no limit. What do they do? The more you start giving to charity, helping people, so elevating the sufferings from the people, governments are making more portion of their budget into military investments. Because if the people are poor, now Afghanistan is suffering. Okay, people are suffering from of this policy of the administration investing their budget into military power. So they don't have money to give people. What they do, they open their door for sadaqah, charity from others, because the others are human beings. They see that these poor people are suffering from the bad management, administration. So it is the bad management's mistake, but these poor people are innocent, so we have to help them. Come on, billions, millions to gathered from all of them and helping people. The government says, okay, they are taken care of. No, never mind. Let me get more and more powerful. You see what's going on? It is, you are trying to elevate the sufferings of the people, the evil, what is going on in political life. But the political life is exploiting it. You are filling it, they are, how do you say, draining it out. What's going on? How can you get the end? Your feelings cannot be satisfied. You want to help people, but to a certain extent. And sometimes it has a reverse effect, so that the people are more and more taking care of their power rather than the needs of their people. So this something strange always going on, because the world is created in this way. Evil and good have to fight. That is the reality. So what these senses are drained out in this world, but no one is reminding that, look, you cannot get the end. It means you have a never-ending, unlimited feelings. Who's going to, first of all, who gave it to you? These infinite feelings, never-ending feelings. And who is going to satisfy it? You can try in this world on a temporary base, but it is not the source of satisfaction as your feelings need. So the one who gave me these feelings, he must mean something. So if I understand that I need to be created, my feelings also need to be created, and these feelings have infinite expectations, infinite hope, infinite fear. Isn't that an evidence that, look, the one who created me is promising me that there will be a promise in the sign of promise. There are signs of promise in my feelings that the one who created me, these feelings must be satisfied. So if I think about it, the one who creates the feelings with no end must not be limited with this world. So he must have these infinite qualities, which in fact, when I study myself seriously, I understand that all feelings that I have been given corresponds to the qualities of their creator. So within yourself, think about it, eternal reward and eternal punishment is possible, but the one who created me with this infinite quality must be able to satisfy it with it, because I didn't ask for it. It is given to me. So look at yourself within your own qualities, which are called the spiritual qualities, emotional qualities, feelings, and represented in the Quran as the heart, the qalb. So you understand that, yes, I want infinite satisfaction, and the one who gave me this infinite need must be able to satisfy me. So we have to go really by evidence in order to come to a conclusion. Yes, this speech that I'm reading, the verse that I'm reading, must be said or spoken by the one who created my feelings. But I cannot attribute my feelings to matter. It is impossible. So if you study the matter, really, you understand comfortably. Nowadays, those people who interpret everything in a negative way, saying that the feelings are the influence of the society, they are outside society. They are very simplistic. We should be very careful. And it is not difficult at all to challenge them. Because do you think that, again, I give this example because it is very convincing for me, in the same atmosphere, in the same environment, and being under the same climate conditions and living conditions, in a forest, there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, different creatures, and they are growing, developing their life by, even if you say by themselves, but because of the influence of the environment, adapting themselves, trying to fit themselves, but all of them have different lifestyle, different forms. Everything is different from each other, but they're really living together in the same atmosphere, in the same climate, and there is no confusion. Plus, there are complementary connection between them. They are helping each other. The lions are, or the tigers are attacking the overpopulated animals, and they are really attacking on the ill and the old ones, and preserving the healthy conditions of the group of animals, for example. And they are really, by them, when what you see them, they are equipped with the desire in such a way that, or the need of provision, such a way that the creation, the environmental, how does it go, balance perfectly preserved. Isn't that a sign for a conscious choice, wisely arranged, and telling us that every creature has its own pair, then also, I would say, now regenerating with the qualities they are given, they are having their young regenerations, and the life is continuing in such an enormous perfection. Every animal or plant continues their existence within a perfect balance, and no confusion, no messing up with anything at all. Everything is harmoniously, perfectly working in a balance. With a different gender, male and female, in plant life, in animal life, growing, developing in the same climate, in the same atmosphere, in the same part of the geography. What does it mean? All that they are talking means nothing at all, means nonsense, superficial belief that matter is the source of feelings, and this matter is the source of, for example, in the source of, let's say, spider teaching the matter how to make its web, and at the same time teaching honeybee how to make honey, and teaching other animals how to make their nests, how to take care of their children. All of them, their birth, their taking care of children, their young, are completely different from each other, but perfectly harmonious. This kind of contradictions we see in the world demonstrates that matter and the social environment, whatever this people talk about, this trash, doesn't make sense. So we have to work on it and demonstrate it. But unfortunately, because we don't really say, I'm happy with my religion, I am happy with the Qur'an, alhamdulillah, that's my religion. Everybody says, that's my religion, really fine for me. It is the best religion. Every religion says the same thing. So if you ask whatever Bible says, a Christian, whatever Bible says is true. Now, if you ask a Muslim, he will say, whatever Quran says is true. Bible is trash. The Christians say, the Quran is trash. What does it mean? There is no confidence in any of them. Just taken for granted. How long we can continue in this way against the growth and developments of this new generation, new culture? We have to prepare ourselves. We have to get ready to prepare the evidences. There is no way to escape from it. If we escape from it, we just find ourselves following the same tradition as ever. It doesn't work. It will not work. That is what I'm convinced about, and that is what I'm telling you. Prepare yourself and prepare new generations to get ready for this world in order to present the Quran. They may not need it for themselves, but next generation definitely needs it. Do it for others. Yes, the technology is developing, but it is not really for the next generation. Making money right now and or becoming famous if they are scientists themselves. Everybody is struggling to get the Nobel Prize. And so what? Just to satisfy their egoistic desires. It's so simplistic. They will die, and their Nobel Prize also will die with them. They may be, afterwards, some people mention their name. What is it good for them anymore? They are not living in this world. They are not aware of what's going on in this world even. So just as, how do you say, wishful expectations, not realistic at all. So that is why we have to get ready for ourselves, rather than saying this is the age of Dajjal, age of Sufyan or Mahdi. These are nonsense expectations. You know, the danger is coming, protect yourself from it, and get ready. How can you help others as well? There are the verses, inshallah, we are going to study. We will be responsible for what we are teaching. We will be responsible for what we are following. That is the description of hell in the Quran. We are going to study, inshallah, next week. Oh, it is too late. Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you very much for joining. Inshallah, next week again, 6 o'clock. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah ar-Rahman. Any burning desire that I have to discuss this, I have to say this question or this comment I need. Otherwise, it is too late. I'm sorry. It's already 14 minutes late. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Okay, Ashanur says, lots to reflect over. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum. Salam wa rahmatullah. Yes, we shouldn't limit our word to what we have been experiencing right now. Think the twilight is getting higher and higher. Darkness is really receding more and more. So there will be something expecting us, inshallah. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. May Allah accept your fastings, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Fi amanillahi wa hifzih. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.